What you doing for like the next 30 minutes? Nothing? Good. Smash the like button, grab a seat, because you ain't gonna believe what I'm about to say.
The scenery outside reminds me of my pride, reminds me of my will. At the windowsill, I sit and see the graves, the children they all play and laugh amongst themselves, somehow remind me of myself on the merry-go-round.
All right, y'all, here we go. Let me take you over here. Give me a second. Let me find it. Here it is. Matter of fact, let me put myself over here. All right. This is, I'm way down here, right? This is a Terra Revival Roadmap Phase 1 and Moon Rabbit Vision document. I read it. I finally read it. A couple days ago, I had no idea who Moon Rabbit was. Until a little while ago, I had no idea that they were a Terra Classic validator. So I'm really just catching up on this stuff. But there have been some interactions. I made a video a couple days ago referring to this, but I hadn't really looked at it, and referring to some comments that other people had to make on it. No real comments myself because I didn't know what it was. So here it is. I looked at it. I just read through it. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you because that will make this way probably past 30 minutes. I'm going to try to keep it within that amount of time. But I will read some of it to you just to make some points. All right, so I'm going to start here. The introduction will read, Dear Terra Classic Community and Validators, as members of the Moon Rabbit Development Group working on the Terra Revival Initiative, we are excited to share this announcement with you all. Our commitment to the continual enhancement of the Lunk ecosystem rests upon delivering tangible value to the chain, and what better way to do so than actually build on it. To that end, we've prepared a series of tasks as part of a larger roadmap we plan to execute upon in the coming future. And then there's a link here where you can really get into the nitty-gritty of all this stuff if you want. Our dedicated development team, consisting of 6 senior software engineers and system architects, is ready to undertake multiple crucial tasks aimed at fortifying and upgrading the Terra Classic blockchain. By addressing these challenges head-on, we aim to contribute to the seamless functioning of the network, enhance user experience, patch security issues, bring Lunk in line with the rest of the cosmos, tap into cross-chain liquidity, and propel the ecosystem forward in preparation for the ensuing bull run. And here is the roadmap, right, and the list of things that they're going to do. And we're just looking at some of the titles. They're going to upgrade the WASM, right, the Cosm WASM, the WASM D, the WASM VM. The Cosmos SDK to 0.47. I'm not sure where it is right now. Again, I'm very much out of the loop, but obviously something prior to 0.47. Upgrade the Comet BFT. Upgrade the interblockchain communication, the IBC. Implement Alliance module. Now, I'll read this one quick because I know this one is something that people have questions about, and I'm just going to read it. I'm not really going to get too much into it, but to help attract external liquidity to Lunk from other chains, the team will be implementing the Alliance module. It is important to note that adding this code won't actually enable anything on the chain in terms of alliances with other chains without the community first passing governance proposals on both chains to actually formulate an alliance between them. This leaves the choice of whether to utilize the Alliance module entirely up to the community, and our testing tool chain will also provide coverage over this module that will be viewable on the Terra Classic portal by the community and validators for audit and review before any releases are put forth. All right, just hold on to that. Implement Terra Classic Portal, which was kind of just referred to. The Terra Classic Portal is a robust website and community hub the team will be building, which will serve as a one-stop shop for all revival efforts related to Terra Classic. such as the ability to view information about upcoming releases and their progress, any action items that the community and validators will need to take to coordinate around a release, documentation for L1 and L2 developers who are looking to build on the chain, and more. Okay. Number 7, implement and produce L1 and L2 documentation to attract developers. So if someone's considering coming over to the Terra Classic chain, this documentation just basically spells out for them what it is that they need to do, kind of. I mean, that's a very simplified way of putting it, but it's good to have. It just makes it easier for everyone. Instead of having to come in and find all this stuff and ask a million questions about how to actually do it, how to actually get on chain, having this documentation right there for them to just read through and know exactly how to bridge over or do whatever they need to do is a good thing. Prepare for Cosmos SDK 0.5 upgrade. Now, a second ago we were talking about they want to prepare version 0.47. So here's the thing. I believe, if I'm saying this right, I believe that the most recent update that's being used right now in the Cosmos is this 0.50. However, I guess it hasn't had, as we say in my business, it hasn't had a lot of time in the seat. It hasn't really been used all that long to figure out what the advantages, disadvantages, if there's any issues, I guess, right? So 0.47, again, I'm assuming, right, it only makes sense, is beyond and higher than what we're using right now. I'm not sure what we're using right now, but this team feels that instead of going right to 0.50, which I said it hasn't had a lot of time in the seat yet, still upgrade, go to 0.47, which puts us within striking distance of 0.50 should it prove itself a little bit more. We decide to go that way, right? But still upgrade and go with something that actually, has been used for a long time, and, we already are aware of how it works, how it functions, right? I think that's smart. I think it's smart. Okay, explore Columbus 6 viability in advance of Cosmos upgrades. Funding in team roster. So I want to read this because this is important. Moonrabbit Validator is proud to announce that we are self-funding these development milestones. By leveraging our resources and commitment to the community, we aim to drive innovation and sustainability within the Lunk ecosystem. We hope our efforts will not only ensure the successful completion of these tasks, but also reinforce the integrity and scalability of the Terra Classic blockchain itself. Additionally, we commit to providing comprehensive documentation to attract developers to the platform, promoting transparency, and bring about a collaborative spirit within the wider space. We understand the critical role that each task plays in the overall development and stability of the chain, and so picking the right people for the job is of the utmost importance. Our veteran team members, each possessing unique expertise, have been strategically assigned to ensure the successful completion of these tasks. And here we have listed the 6 members of the team, their titles, and basically what they will be responsible for. In conclusion, we are committed to maintaining excellence, transparency, and fostering a collaborative environment within the community. Your support is invaluable and would be most appreciated as we work toward the common goal of making Terra Classic a leading force in the Cosmos crypto space. You can read the rest of this. There are some links and some different things to follow. Okay, what do I think of this? I can't find anything wrong with it. I really can't. I kind of like it. And I told you that you weren't going to believe I was going to say that. But you're going to call it what it is. It's very well written in a way that it speaks to, and I was just talking about this, right? In a way that it speaks to the general LUNC holder, investor, people who are not all crazy high tech and developing and writing code and all that. It's very simple English for everyone to understand what the objective is, what it is that they're trying to do, how they're going about doing it. After every kind of bullet point, right? After every list thing on the list, task on the list, they iterate that they're going to develop this stuff. They'll write the code, they'll get it all ready, but everybody always remember this is a proof of stake chain. So once they do that, it will have to go into a proposal. The proposal will be submitted to the community to vote on. Not only that, they're making their code accessible through GitHub and through this portal that they're going to develop and I don't know wherever else. They're going to make it available for anyone who wants to sift through it with a fine-tooth comb, and you can rest assured these other teams will be going through it, right? But can look at it and pick it apart, and they're putting it out there for you to see. Nothing hidden, right? Transparency. On top of all that, they're funding it themselves. They're not asking anything from the community pool, from the Oracle pool, from my pocket or your pocket. They're saying they're going to fund it themselves. Now, moving forward, who knows what's going to happen once this phase of it is over. If they do well and people vote on this and we use these upgrades and they go over well, when you go into the next phase, will they at that point can they continue to sustain it on their own, out of their own pockets, or will they actually be looking for some funding? Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, I guess. I'm always of the opinion that if you're doing work and you're doing good work, you should be compensated for it. I've been saying that since the Terror Rebels, right? When they were doing all that work for free. There's really not a lot, if anything, to kind of not like the way this is being presented. Now, I know what some of you are going to tell me because I've already heard it, right? These people that are involved, this team, Bilbo and Rabbi and Faluna and some of these other names I honestly haven't even heard of, but some of these names we have heard of over and over again. These people are abrasive. This is what I'm going to hear, right? They're abrasive. They're, no bedside manner. There may have been some racist comments that were made at some point. They're obstructionists. They fight with everybody. They just don't have a very good demeanor about them. Can I tell you, I don't really give a shit about any of that. I really don't. I just don't. Remember the world I come from. I work with guys every day that are pains in the ass. I mean, abrasive as you can be. I would never, ever go out for a beer and hang out with any of these guys. I work with some guys who are very racist. I work with guys who I have heard throwing the N-word around while they're all hanging out together on their breaks, and they don't think that I can hear them, right? I'm not saying they're saying it to me, but this is just what they do, right? And I know how they are. And what you do, you compartmentalize it, I guess, to a degree, because we are there to do a job. There's a job to be done. These guys are good at their job. They can get it done. They get the work done. And while we're working, they're doing their job. I'm doing my job. We're also got each other's backs. We're doing things to make things easier for each other. I'm keeping them safe. They're keeping me safe. When the day is over, you can go fuck yourself, because I would never have you to my family, to my home. I know who you are and what you're about. I don't like you, but I'll see you tomorrow. Because it's work. It's work. I don't have to like these people. I don't have to like these people. And I can tell you, they don't like me. That's been made pretty clear. I don't care. I don't care. If they can do this work, they can get it done. And in the way that they're presenting, that's fine. Hey, you know what? It's a decentralized chain. Isn't that what everybody keeps pushing? Isn't that what everybody wants? In a decentralized chain, open source, we can have any number of teams that are going to come in and offer to do this work. Some might ask to get paid for it. Some might volunteer to do it like these guys. Is it, a proof of work kind of thing where they'll come in, they'll prove what they can do, and then, then ask maybe for some compensation for other things? That's absolutely fine. There's a million different ways that you can go about this, but this is what we have. And we have criticized, think about that Shibarium ecosystem team who claimed for the longest time that they were all about Shiba Inu was king. And they were doing everything that they were going to build was going to burn SHIB. Well, they don't own SHIB. They don't control SHIB. SHIB is a community token, and anybody can come in and build around SHIB just the way they did. But what did they do? Every time another team tried to come in to try to do something for the actual Shiba Inu community, not their own thing, not Bone and not Leash and not these other, I don't mean to get off on a rant, I'm just making my point, right? Not these other things. Whenever another team wanted to come in and do something, that team would talk about gatekeeping. They would poo-poo all over them. I mean, to the point where they would try to find out exactly who these people were, dig up dirt on them, do whatever they could to maintain control and say that they were the top dogs. They were the ones in control. Well, we don't have that here, right? We've got a lot of people that we've known for a long time at this point, almost a couple of years, who've been working on this chain. Some people we trust, some people we like, some people we don't. But we don't have a team that is in control that everybody has to answer to. We don't have that, all right? The only problem that I see with that situation is when you put a bunch of alpha type guys together, and that's what you have. These developers are all alpha type guys, right? When you put a bunch of them together, there's going to be squabbles. There's going to be fights. Everybody, it's inherent in that personality that you think your way is the best. Everybody else's idea is shit. Everybody should listen to you because you know what you're talking about. That's inherent in that alpha personality. And that's what we're going to have, right? So you've got these guys that are doing this, but then you've got, Frag and Vin and Iron Man, Superman, whoever else, Strathcole, maybe over on another side, and they're doing their thing, right? And Vin put together his own roadmap, and so they think that their stuff is good. And so when these guys say that they want to do something, those guys might be like, you don't know, the way that they're going about it ain't quite right. It should be this, it should be that. And if those guys come up with something, these guys might do the same thing. What they're doing is wrong. It should be this, it should be that. This is the problem we've been having. Not that we don't have talented people that can do the work. It's just that they can't get together and just coalesce. Everybody wants to be the top dog. So here they talk about putting together this portal. And this portal, again, is, well, I'll read it, right? Serve as a one-stop shop for all revival effort related to Terra Classic. We need that. We absolutely need that. It is a great idea. The only problem is the team that implements that is going to be perceived by all these other teams as having some sort of control. I think even Rexy tried to do that with Terra C Vita, right? Didn't he try to do something like that? Whoever does it is going to be have this perception of control, this perception of being the top dog, because even though everybody else is working, everybody comes through this portal, and this portal was designed by these guys. That puts them on top, perception-wise, okay? People are going to have a problem with it, right? We need it. We absolutely need it. It needs to be a neutral party that's doing it, right? If it's somebody neutral, a GC, as I call it, a general contractor, if you've got a GC, a neutral party that has this portal, and maybe you list all the tasks and everything that needs to be done on GitHub and all the various teams, however many there are, the more the merrier. I don't care, right? They bid. We'll do that part, or we'll do this part, and maybe multiple teams will do the same thing or whatever, right? And then we've got this code written by several different teams, and they put their proposals forth, and the community decides which one they want to go with. Maybe these guys are doing it for free, but maybe these guys are charging something. Maybe that's the deciding factor. Whatever. But if it all came through one neutral portal, one neutral place, then it wouldn't really matter about the bickering. Of course, everybody's going to say that theirs is the best, right? But it would still be filtered. It could be filtered by this GC, by this general contractor. So I don't know. That's just me. I think that that's a good idea. But that's not a complaint about this. They recognize that this is something that needs to be done, and they put it out there and they did it, right? Somebody else might come up with one. If somebody can come up with a neutral one, if that's even possible, maybe that's a better idea. I don't know. But either way, kudos. And I've already been told that my opinion doesn't really mean anything anymore. So, and maybe it doesn't. Maybe it never did. But that's my opinion. I don't have to like these guys. I don't have to understand them. They'll never come to my house for Christmas dinner, right? But if they're doing sincere and good work for the chain, and they're trying their best, I have no complaints. No complaints at all. I do want to say this, and this will be like the last point that I kind of want to make. I'm seeing a lot of this. This one, all this technical stuff, right? The stuff that you find on GitHub, all the things, the code changes and the upgrades that need to be done. And you've got the various teams that are concentrating very much on that. You see a lot of the proposals that are put forth about that. Well, I've made this analogy before and I'll make it again. If you are flipping a house, you bought a house, it was dilapidated, you restore it, and you're going to sell it. Well, some of the things that you're going to have to do, maybe, you might have to update the plumbing. You might have to update the electrical wires in the walls, right? Maybe insulate. Maybe you need a new, if you're using town utilities, maybe it's smart to go ahead and put in a new sewer and water tie-ins, right? These are things that are absolutely essential to the functioning of this house. But you'll never see them. You'll never see them. So when you've got it renovated now, and now people are going to come over to look at it, to potentially buy it. Hopefully you want to sell it. The things that are going to be important to them, updated kitchen, all the hardware and everything is high-end hardware. You got hardwood floors. You've got an updated, beautiful bathroom, a new roof, fresh paint, right? Beautiful woodwork, crown molding. These are the things that are actually going to sell the house, because these are the things that can be seen. This stuff, the CosmWasm, the SDK, the IBC, all these things, that's the insulation, and it's necessary, but it's not going to sell LUNC. What I'm saying is, investors, people who want to come in and buy LUNC and hold LUNC, right? This stuff isn't going to make them want to do it. This isn't the motivator. If it were the motivator, we've been doing this for 2 years. If it were the motivator, we wouldn't be looking at a price of 409 something right now. We wouldn't be looking also, most likely, at Crypto.com delisting on the 15th of next month. Why do they delist? Well, because Terra Classic Chain ain't making them any money. There's no volume. Nobody's buying it. Nobody's trading it. You can do this stuff until you're blue in the face. We can have all the bells and whistles. But if nobody's buying LUNC and holding LUNC and trading LUNC and there's no volume, who cares? Well, all right. So Well, a lot of this stuff is going to help to bring in cross-chain liquidity. In other words, dealing with other chains in the cosmos, other developers maybe, right? But, when Lunk was Luna, it had a job. That job was to maintain the peg. It went from, at its origin, when they started, it wasn't worth a whole hell of a lot, right? 30 cents, 40 cents, 50 cents, 60 cents. The thing shot up to 80 bucks, 90 bucks, 100 bucks, right? Made millionaires. You've got a chain now where you've got people holding that are millionaires, that weren't millionaires previously. It's maintaining the peg. It's minting. It's burning. It's going up and down. There's volatility. There's whatever. And people are trading it. It's very active. It's very, it's making a lot of money, right? If I'm a developer, it's good that you're going to make it easy for me to come over, but why do I want to come over? If you have a chain that is thriving and making everybody a lot of money, I want to be on that chain. I want to be associated with that. Even though Luna was the star, right? Anyone who was on the chain, I bet you they were doing well because that's what you're associated with. You're on a strong chain. This chain isn't strong. It's very weak right now because we don't have that. Well, what do we need? I don't have the answers, right? But I would certainly say we should probably really be thinking about the repeg, right? Where did that go? I've been gone for 10 months, 11 months, I don't know, right? There were a million different efforts, a million different proposals on how we could do this repeg. You've read some of them. They were so complicated with all these equations and everything. You thought somebody was building a rocket to the moon. Where did that all go? Did none of them pan out? None of them were viable? Where did it go? We need it. We need to repeg. If not repeg, then what else? As we talked about a couple of days ago, JG brought up in that space, right? If not the repeg, then what is going to be the identity? What is it that is going to make people want to buy and hold and trade Lunk again? What is it that is going to bring volume? What is it that is actually going to bring us into the bull market strong, right? So that this thing thrives and goes up and has the possibility of actually getting to a penny, let alone $1. What is it that's going to be? Well, why not? Why isn't it the repeg? Somebody explain that to me. I don't know why it is. Also, we've got a ridiculous supply. What is it? 6.9 trillion or whatever it is, right? Burns, we go back and forth with Burns. A lot of people were pushing Burns, and then you had a lot of people pushing against them and saying Burns ain't going to do shit. Not going to do anything. It's going to take you'll never burn that amount off unless you have utility to help burn it off, right? You can go back and forth with that. I'm not going to argue either side. All I know is that we have too much supply. So how can we reduce the supply? And is reducing the supply going to automatically make the price go up? No. But a much smaller supply than what we have would sure make a difference with the volatility. When it does go up, it has the ability to go up higher if there's less tokens, right? Isn't that common sense? Isn't that the way it works? So it's good that we have all these teams that are doing all these things. This is your expertise. This is where you shine. Beautiful. Have at it. Can somebody put together a task force, a team, something to make people want to buy and sell and hold and trade Lunk again? Isn't that logical? Doesn't that make sense? Again, maybe I'm crazy. I don't know. There are plenty of you out there who love telling me that I am. So maybe I am. But it seems like common sense to me. It just seems like that's what's logical. So I'm sorry if I went over the half an hour. I just may have. I'm not sure. Either way, that's how I feel about it. If you have any comments about that, questions, and I'm sure you will, leave them in the comment section. Let's talk about it. Let's chat about it. Educate me. Tell me what I don't know. I love to learn. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. Ciao.